They call it the cloud now, a soft name for something so cold. It holds everything, they say, every thought, every memory, every book. But I know what's been lost. The heft of a story in your hands, the scent of old paper, the rustle of a turning page. These are not things you can download. They must be felt, breathed in. I am the keeper of what can be felt. In this final library, the air is thick with the ghosts of forests. Each book is a sliver of a tree, ink a river of forgotten words. The cloud has no smell, no weight, no sound. It is a ghost in the machine. I walk these aisles, fingers tracing spines, leather, cloth, cardboard. Each book tells a story before it's opened, of hands that held it, years weathered in silence. Outside, the world hums with silent data. People glide through days, eyes fixed on glowing glass. They've forgotten how to be bored, how to be quiet, how to get lost in a world that asks for imagination. Here, there's only the creak of floorboards, the sigh of the building, the wind's cry against arched windows. This is the sound of reality. Things that exist, that will one day turn to dust. The cloud promises immortality, but it's a sterile one, a story without a body, a soul without a vessel. The books here are mortal, they're yellow, fray, tear, they can be burned, soaked, forgotten. But in their mortality, they are alive. They carry fingerprints, faint pencil marks, the artifacts of a time when stories were companions. They are the last true things in a world of shimmering illusions. I am their witness, I am their memory. I am the last librarian. And this is the last library. This library is a tomb, a beautiful, silent tomb. Sunlight slants through tall windows, illuminating columns of dust. The library's memory settling over everything. I am its caretaker, moving through aisles, wiping away layers of forgetting. The lamps are dark now, chairs waiting for guests who will never arrive. Outside, the world is seamless, sterile, no mess, no sign of human touch. Here, the glorious mess of human history remains. Books lean against each other like tired friends, some with cracked spines, pages threatening to spill out. The air is thick with the smell of decay and preservation, a perfume of time. It is a place built for people, and its emptiness aches. I walk the perimeter every morning, checking locks and latches, not to keep intruders out, but to keep the silence in. The silence here is a presence filled with echoes of every story ever read within these walls. Every gasp, every sob, every rustle of a page. The silence breathes with me, a slow, steady rhythm of a world fallen asleep. Sometimes I think the building itself remembers. The floors groan, the ceiling holds echoes of voices. This was a cathedral of stories, a sanctuary for the curious and the lonely. Now it is just me and the dust, me and the echoes. I am the last priestess of a forgotten religion. I tend a shrine no one comes to worship it anymore. But I keep the ritual, I keep the memory, I keep the silence alive. I remember the noise, the hum of human presence, the sound of life. Children's laughter, the squeak of sneakers, the drama of a parent's voice reading aloud. Teenagers pretending boredom, secretly searching for themselves in the pages. The old ones seeking quiet and companionship in the past. They were the library's fixtures, nodding to me as they entered, bringing the weight of their own stories. Now there are only ghosts. The chairs are empty, but I see them still. The child in the red coat, the teen with headphones, the old man with his magnifying glass. Their presence lingers so strongly I sometimes forget they're gone. I am the curator of their ghosts. I keep their memory alive in the silence. They called it the upload, a glorious step into the future, a world without loss or decay. People lined up for it, seeking immortality in the cloud. They left their homes, their bodies dissolving into the network. I watched the cities empty, houses go dark, a quiet apocalypse. My colleagues were among the first to go, eager to build perfect archives in the digital realm. They called me a relic, a sentimental fool, but I stayed because I feared forgetting, not the stories, but what it means to be human. To have a body, to feel the sun, to smell the rain, to hold a book. The cloud offers knowledge, but not wisdom, data, but not experience. To become code is to lose life's precious imperfections. I did not want to become an echo. I wanted to remain a voice, even if unheard. So I stayed. The last librarian, the last guardian of the physical word. I chose dust over data, silence over the network's hum, decay over sterile perfection. They see this place as a tomb, I see it as a seed bank, a reminder that we are more than minds. We are bodies, senses, creatures of touch and sound. I stayed to remember for them, to keep the last candle of the physical world burning. Even as the digital darkness closed in, I remain. The loneliness is a physical presence, my constant companion. To keep it at bay, I have a ritual. Every afternoon I choose a book and read aloud to the empty chairs. My voice echoes off the high ceilings, filling the void. At first it felt foolish, but then I sensed them listening. The ghosts, the memories. A line from a children's story, a passage of drama. I could almost hear the echoes of laughter, the imagined gasp of an audience. For a little while, the library breathes again. I choose books carefully. Poetry for comfort, adventure for courage, forgotten stories for hope. I give the characters voices, act out their parts, become the storyteller for an audience of memories. Sometimes I read the books that need me most, the forgotten ones tucked away in dusty corners. I give them a voice, let their stories fly free in the silent air. It is a strange communion, me, the books, the silence. We keep each other company. I read to them, and in return they keep me sane. As long as a story is told, it is never truly dead. The ritual continues, the words endure, the silence listens, and I am not alone. In my rounds, I find treasures, artifacts of forgotten lives, a pair of reading glasses, a train ticket, a dried flower pressed in a book. But the most precious, a child's drawing found in a copy of a book about a runaway bunny, a lopsided house, a stick-figure family, a giant smiling sun in yellow crayon. It's a message from a lost world, a world of warmth, family, hope. I keep it pinned to the old corkboard, now empty, but for this faded image. It is my reminder, my reason. I'm not just guarding books, I'm guarding this. The memory of a time when a child could draw a sun and believe in its light. It is my sun in the silence. Hope is a dangerous thing in a world like this. Most days I am content in my silent kingdom. But sometimes the old world intrudes. A sound, a trick of the light. Last winter, I heard a knock on the great front doors, a sound I hadn't heard in decades. My heart pounded. Could it be another survivor, a traveller, or just the wind? I opened the door, hope and fear warring inside me. There was no one, only the wind swirling leaves across the steps. A phantom knock, a cruel joke played by the storm. I stood there, the cold air rushing in, feeling the emptiness more keenly than ever. I closed the door, the sound echoing the final closing of a door in my heart. Hope, I learned that day, is the cruelest ghost of all. But still I wait, still I hope. Still I... The message came not as a sound, but as a feeling, a ripple in the silent network. I sensed it, the final sync. The cloud's memory was reaching its optimal state. All remaining analog data was now a redundancy, a corruption. All physical records, books, art, photographs were to be erased, vaporized. They would send drones to scan and disintegrate every book. There is no way to fight them. I am one woman against a global intelligence. My first instinct was despair. Everything I'd preserved was about to be turned to dust. But then, anger, a librarian's defiance. They could destroy the vessels, but not the stories if I could hide them well enough. I could not save the library or myself, but I could save the seeds. I could create a new kind of archive, one the cloud would never think to look for. The final sync was coming, and I, the last librarian, had work to do. I would not let the stories die, not without a fight, not while I still had breath. The end was near, but so was my purpose. My final act is rebellion, a frantic race against erasure. I cannot save every book, but I can save the heart of their stories. I move through the aisles, choosing not for fame, but for power, hope, defiance, survival. I copy them by hand, summaries, key passages, the essence of each tale. I seal these pages in waterproof capsules, hiding them in walls, beneath floorboards, inside old tables. I am planting a garden of stories, hoping someone will find them in a future I'll never see. The network's thrum grows stronger. The final sync is close. I work through day and night, a scribe in the last monastery. The barbarians are silent now, made of code and light, but their goal is the same, to erase a history they do not understand. As I wait for the end, I perform my last ritual. I walk to the center of the great reading room, a single worn book in hand. It is a book of fairy tales, the oldest stories. I open it and begin to read, my voice steady, clear, strong. I read to the books, the ghosts, the memories, and the future. To the person who might one day find a story hidden in the dust. I will be gone. The library will be gone. But the story will remain. Once upon a time, I say to the silence in a world long since past. The words echo, lingering in the air. The silence listens, and somewhere hope endures. The end is only another beginning.